Men are moved by two levers only: fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte, they tell you hard work guarantees success. They lie. The world isn't fair, and effort alone won't cut it. We're here to expose the uncomfortable truths they desperately want you to ignore, the realities that keep you complacent and controllable. They preach equality while building empires on exploitation. They sell you dreams while profiting from your failures. We offer you the harsh reality, the unvarnished truth successful men understand but will never reveal. This isn't about comforting lies. It's about facing the cold, brutal facts that dictate the world. The system isn't designed for your success. It's designed for its own survival, and that survival often depends on your ignorance and obedience. They want you to believe in meritocracy, in the illusion that everyone has an equal chance. But the game is rigged. The rules are bent. The powerful protect their own, and the rest are left to scramble for scraps. It's a hard pill to swallow, but swallowing it is the first step toward true understanding. Understanding that allows you to navigate this unfair landscape, to exploit the loopholes, to break the chains of delusion. Don't be fooled by the narratives they feed you. Don't let their comforting lies lull you into a false sense of security. They tell you to play it safe, to follow the rules, to wait your turn. But waiting gets you nowhere. Safety is an illusion. The only way to truly win is to understand the game, to master its rules, and then to break them when necessary. This requires a level of awareness that most people actively avoid. It requires confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself, about society, and about the nature of power. They will tell you that ambition is greedy, that success is selfish. They will try to shame you for wanting more, for striving to rise above the mediocrity they have so carefully cultivated. But don't listen. Your ambition is your engine. Your desire for success is your fuel. Embrace it. Harness it. Use it to propel yourself forward, to break free from the limitations they have imposed upon you. The world rewards those who dare to take what they want, those who refuse to be constrained by the expectations of others. The path to true success is not paved with rainbows and sunshine. It is a dark and challenging road, filled with obstacles and setbacks. There will be times when you doubt yourself, when you question your choices, when you feel like giving up. But it is in these moments of doubt and despair that your true strength will be revealed. It is in the face of adversity that you will forge your character, that you will develop the resilience and determination necessary to overcome any challenge. They want you to be weak, compliant, and easily controlled. They want you to believe that you are powerless, that your fate is predetermined. But you are not. You have the power to change your life, to create your own destiny. But that power comes with responsibility. It requires you to be honest with yourself, to confront your own limitations, and to take decisive action to overcome them. It requires you to reject the lies they tell you, to embrace the uncomfortable truths they try to hide, and to forge your own path, regardless of the consequences. This is the way of the successful man. This is the path to true power. The human mind is a fortress, built layer upon layer of defense mechanisms. These mechanisms, forged in the fires of trauma and reinforced by years of societal conditioning, are designed to protect us from pain. But what happens when that pain is the very thing we need to confront in order to grow? What happens when those defenses become the prison walls that confine us to a life of mediocrity? The truth is, most people are more afraid of the truth than they are of anything else. They would rather cling to comforting lies than face the harsh reality of their own limitations, their own failures, their own complicity in the systems that oppress them. This fear is not irrational. The truth can be devastating. It can shatter our illusions, dismantle our beliefs, and force us to confront the uncomfortable realities of our existence. It can expose our vulnerabilities, reveal our flaws, and challenge our very sense of self. But it is precisely this transformative power that makes the truth so valuable. It is through facing the truth, no matter how painful, that we can break free from the shackles of our own self-deception and begin to build a life based on authenticity, integrity, and purpose. Consider the concept of cognitive dissonance, the psychological stress experienced when holding conflicting beliefs or values. Most people resolve this dissonance by rationalizing their behavior, changing their beliefs, or selectively ignoring information that challenges their worldview. This is why so many people remain trapped in dead-end jobs, abusive relationships, or destructive patterns of behavior. They would rather cling to the familiar discomfort of their current situation than face the uncertainty and potential pain of change. The successful man, however, embraces cognitive dissonance. He understands that it is a sign that he is being challenged, that he is being forced to confront his own limitations. Instead of running from the discomfort, he leans into it, using it as a catalyst for growth. He questions his beliefs, challenges his assumptions, and seeks out information that contradicts his worldview. He understands that the only way to truly grow is to constantly push himself outside of his comfort zone, to confront the uncomfortable truths that others are so desperately trying to avoid. This requires a level of self-awareness that is rare in today's society. Most people are so caught up in the distractions of modern life that they rarely take the time to truly reflect on their own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. They are bombarded with constant stimuli, programmed with carefully crafted narratives, and conditioned to conform to societal expectations. As a result, they lose touch with their own inner voice, their own intuition, their own sense of purpose. To break free from this cycle, you must cultivate a practice of self-reflection. Take the time to be alone with your thoughts, to examine your beliefs, and to question your assumptions. Ask yourself why you believe what you believe, why you feel what you feel, and why you do what you do. Be honest with yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Confront your own biases, your own prejudices, and your own blind spots. This is not an easy process. It requires courage, humility, and a willingness to confront your own shadow self. But the rewards are immense. By becoming more self-aware, you gain a deeper understanding of your own motivations, your own strengths, and your own weaknesses. You become more resilient in the face of adversity, more adaptable to change, and more effective in your interactions with others. You develop a clearer sense of purpose, a stronger sense of identity, and a greater sense of control over your own life. Moreover, the successful man understands the power of denial, not just in others but in himself. He recognizes that the human mind is a master of self-deception, capable of rationalizing almost any behavior, no matter how destructive. He understands that he is not immune to this tendency, and that he must constantly be vigilant against it. He actively seeks out feedback from trusted sources, challenges his own assumptions, and remains open to the possibility that he might be wrong. This is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is the mark of a man who is committed to truth, regardless of the consequences. He also understands that the truth is not always objective. It is often subjective, shaped by our own experiences, our own beliefs, and our own biases. What is true for one person may not be true for another. This does not mean that the truth is meaningless, but rather that it must be approached with humility and discernment. He listens to different perspectives, considers different viewpoints, and seeks to understand the underlying motivations behind them. He understands that the truth is often complex and multifaceted, and that it cannot be reduced to simplistic soundbites or ideological slogans. Ultimately, the path to true success is a path of constant self-discovery. It is a journey of confronting our own limitations, embracing the uncomfortable truths, and forging our own path, regardless of the consequences. It is a journey that requires courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to truth. It is a journey that is not for the faint of heart, but it is a journey that is ultimately worth taking. The world needs men who are willing to stand up for what is right, to challenge the status quo, and to create a better future. The world needs men who are not afraid of the truth, but who embrace it with open arms. Consider the story of John, a mid-level manager at a large corporation. John, like many others, had dreams of climbing the corporate ladder, of achieving a position of power and influence. He worked diligently, putting in long hours and consistently exceeding expectations. He believed that if he simply followed the rules, played the game, and kept his head down, he would eventually be rewarded for his efforts. He bought into the narrative that hard work and loyalty were the keys to success. He avoided conflict, always agreeing with his superiors and never questioning the status quo. He thought he was being smart, strategic, and playing the game the right way. He valued stability above all else and considered being liked a major asset. He treated his colleagues well and made sure his bosses felt comfortable. However, John failed to recognize the harsh realities of the corporate world. He didn't understand that in many organizations, politics and personal relationships often trump merit and competence. He was blind to the backstabbing, the power plays, and the hidden agendas that were constantly swirling around him. He failed to see that his superiors were not necessarily interested in his well-being, but rather in their own advancement. He was naive in believing that his hard work would be recognized and rewarded, regardless of the political landscape. He wanted to see the best in people, but in doing so, he ignored warning signs and became a pawn. One day, a new executive joined the company. This executive, named Sarah, was ambitious, ruthless, and fiercely determined to climb the ranks. Sarah quickly identified John as a potential obstacle. She saw him as a loyal, hard-working, but ultimately naive individual who could be easily manipulated. She began to subtly undermine John's position, spreading rumors about his performance and taking credit for his ideas. She cultivated relationships with key decision-makers, painting John as incompetent and out of touch. She knew that appealing to their egos would be more effective than making real improvements. John, oblivious to Sarah's machinations, continued to work hard, believing that his efforts would eventually be recognized. He dismissed the whispers and the subtle changes in his colleagues' behavior, attributing them to stress or misunderstanding. He clung to the belief that his hard work and loyalty would protect him from any harm. He even tried to befriend Sarah, hoping to gain her favor and build a positive working relationship. He tried to kill her with kindness, never realizing that she was systematically destroying his career. He was being polite while she was waging war. The inevitable happened. Sarah orchestrated a restructuring of the department, conveniently eliminating John's position. He was offered a lower-level role with reduced responsibilities and a significant pay cut. He was devastated. He couldn't understand how this could have happened. He had always been a loyal employee, a hard worker, and a team player. He felt betrayed, used, and discarded. He was forced to face the uncomfortable truth. His naivete and his unwillingness to confront the harsh realities of the corporate world had led to his downfall. John's story is a stark reminder that the world is not always fair, and that success is not always guaranteed, no matter how hard you work. It highlights the importance of understanding the dynamics of power, of recognizing the hidden agendas, and of being willing to confront the uncomfortable truths that others may try to hide. It illustrates the dangers of naivete, of blind loyalty, and of failing to adapt to the ever-changing landscape. He fell victim to the very thing he sought to avoid: conflict. By never engaging, he was ultimately defeated. He had mistaken politeness for strength and confrontation for weakness. He valued being liked over being respected. He sought comfort when he should have sought the truth. John's mistake was not a lack of intelligence or competence, but a lack of awareness and a reluctance to confront the darker aspects of human nature. He failed to recognize that some people are driven by ambition, by greed, and by a willingness to do whatever it takes to get ahead. He underestimated the power of manipulation, of deception, and of backstabbing. He mistakenly believed that good intentions and hard work were enough to protect him from harm. The world rewards those who see it for what it is, not for what they wish it to be. His wishful thinking was his downfall. He refused to see the world as it was. John's story isn't unique. It's a pattern, a trap that ensnares countless individuals who enter the arena of life with noble intentions but lack the necessary armor and weapons. This trap is built on a foundation of comforting lies, lies perpetuated by a society that prioritizes harmony over honesty, that values conformity over critical thinking. It's a system designed to keep the masses docile, content in their ignorance, and easily controlled. This system actively discourages questioning, dissent, and the pursuit of uncomfortable truths. The trap works by subtly shaping your perceptions, by feeding you a constant diet of sanitized narratives, by shielding you from the harsh realities that lurk beneath the surface. From childhood, you are taught to be polite, to be agreeable, to avoid conflict at all costs. You are encouraged to believe in fairness, in justice, and in the inherent goodness of people. You are told that hard work and dedication will always be rewarded, that honesty is always the best policy, and that good things come to those who wait. These are comforting lies, designed to keep you in your place, to prevent you from rocking the boat, to ensure that you remain a compliant and predictable member of the herd. The truth is far more brutal. The world is not fair. Justice is often a myth, and good intentions are rarely enough to protect you from those who are driven by selfish ambition. Hard work is essential, but it's not a guarantee of success. You can work tirelessly for years, pouring your heart and soul into a project, only to see it fail because of circumstances beyond your control or because someone else was willing to cut corners and play dirty. Honesty is a virtue, but it can also be a liability. There are times when telling the truth will get you into trouble, when it will make you enemies, and when it will jeopardize your own well-being. And waiting for good things to come to you is a fool's errand. You have to go out and seize them, to fight for them, to be willing to take risks and make sacrifices. Those who passively wait are often left behind, watching as others claim the rewards. The trap is sprung when you begin to believe these comforting lies, when you allow them to shape your perception of reality, when you fail to recognize the true nature of the game. You become vulnerable to manipulation, to exploitation, and to betrayal. You are easily taken advantage of by those who are more cunning, more ruthless, and more willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead. You find yourself constantly surprised and disappointed by the behavior of others, by the unfairness of the system, and by the lack of integrity in the world around you. You are like a lamb among wolves, blindly trusting those who would happily devour you. The weak are often devoured because they refuse to accept that wolves even exist. They cling to the illusion of safety, to the belief that everyone is inherently good, and they are unprepared for the moment when the wolves bare their teeth. Escaping this trap requires a radical shift in perspective, a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths that society has tried to hide from you. It requires you to question everything you have been taught, to challenge the assumptions that you have always taken for granted, and to see the world as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. This is a painful process because it forces you to confront the darker aspects of human nature, to acknowledge the existence of evil, and to accept the fact that you are not always safe. But it is also a liberating process, because it frees you from the shackles of naivete, from the illusion of control, and from the constant disappointment of unmet expectations. You must understand that power dynamics are always at play, whether you acknowledge them or not. People are constantly vying for position, for influence, and for resources. Some are driven by noble motives, but many are driven by selfish ambition, by greed, and by a willingness to manipulate and exploit others to achieve their goals. To survive and thrive in this environment, you must learn to recognize these power dynamics, to understand the motivations of those around you, and to be willing to assert yourself when necessary. This does not mean becoming ruthless or unethical, but it does mean being assertive, being strategic, and being willing to defend your own interests. You need to cultivate a healthy skepticism, a willingness to question authority, and an ability to think critically. Don't blindly accept what you are told, especially by those in positions of power. Seek out multiple perspectives, do your own research, and form your own opinions. Be wary of those who offer easy answers or who try to simplify complex issues. The world is a messy, complicated place, and there are rarely simple solutions to difficult problems. Embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Seek out challenges, push yourself to learn new things, and be willing to take risks. Don't be afraid to fail, because failure is often the best teacher. Learn from your mistakes, adapt to changing circumstances, and never give up on your goals. The ability to adapt and learn is crucial in a world that is constantly evolving. Rigidity is a death sentence. Those who cannot adapt are doomed to be left behind. You must become like water, able to flow around obstacles, to find new paths, and to ultimately reach your destination. The world will try to lull you into complacency, to convince you that everything is fine, to discourage you from questioning the status quo. Resist this temptation. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay engaged. The future belongs to those who are willing to fight for it, to those who are willing to challenge the norms, and to those who are willing to confront the uncomfortable truths that others try to ignore. The trap is real, but it can be avoided. With awareness, with courage, and with a willingness to see the world as it truly is, you can break free from its grasp and forge your own path to success. Never mistake hope for a strategy. Plan accordingly. To truly master the game, you must understand the chessboard. Society operates on predictable patterns, driven by base human instincts and manipulated by those in power. Naivete is a luxury you cannot afford. Every interaction is a transaction, every relationship a negotiation, whether you acknowledge it or not. Recognize the underlying power dynamics at play. Identify who holds the levers of influence and how they are used. Understand the motivations of those around you, their desires, their fears, and their vulnerabilities. This is not about cynicism, but about clarity. See people as they are, not as you wish them to be. Cultivate a detached perspective. Emotions are a liability. They cloud your judgment, make you predictable, and expose you to manipulation. Learn to observe situations dispassionately, to analyze them objectively, and to act strategically. This does not mean becoming emotionless, but rather learning to control your emotions, to use them as tools rather than being controlled by them. Channel your anger into focused action, your fear into calculated caution, and your empathy into understanding your opponent. Master the art of emotional regulation, and you will gain an unparalleled advantage. Embrace deception as a tool. Honesty is a virtue, but it is also a weakness. In a world of wolves, the sheep are slaughtered. Learn to lie convincingly, to conceal your true intentions, and to manipulate perceptions. This is not about being inherently evil, but about having the ability to defend yourself and to achieve your goals in a hostile environment. A skilled liar can control the narrative, influence outcomes, and protect themselves from harm. Master the art of deception, and you will become a formidable player in the game. Remember, the greatest deception is often the truth, carefully presented and strategically timed. Exploit the weaknesses of others. Everyone has vulnerabilities, whether they are aware of them or not. Identify these weaknesses and use them to your advantage. This could involve exploiting their insecurities, appealing to their ego, or leveraging their dependencies. The key is to be subtle and strategic, to avoid appearing malicious or exploitative. Frame your actions as being in their best interest, even if they are ultimately benefiting you more. This is about understanding human psychology and using it to achieve your objectives. Remember, the most effective manipulation is often the one that is never detected. Cultivate alliances strategically. No one succeeds alone. Build a network of allies who can support your goals and protect you from threats. Choose your allies carefully, based on their skills, their resources, and their loyalty. Reciprocity is key. Offer value to your allies in exchange for their support. Be willing to compromise and to make concessions, but never sacrifice your core principles. A strong alliance can provide invaluable protection and open doors to new opportunities. Remember, the best alliances are built on mutual benefit and shared goals. Learn to anticipate your opponent's moves. Think several steps ahead like a chess master. Analyze their past behavior, their current situation, and their potential motivations. Identify their likely strategies and develop countermeasures. This requires a deep understanding of human psychology and a keen ability to read people. The more you know about your opponent, the better equipped you will be to anticipate their moves and to counter them effectively. Remember, the element of surprise is a powerful weapon, but it is even more powerful to be prepared for your opponent's surprise. Master the art of misdirection. Divert your opponent's attention away from your true intentions. Create distractions, spread misinformation, and play on their assumptions. The more you can confuse and mislead your opponent, the easier it will be to achieve your goals without interference. This requires a degree of creativity and a willingness to think outside the box. Remember, the best misdirection is often subtle and unexpected, playing on your opponent's biases and preconceptions. Make them look where you want them to look, while you act where they least expect it. Embrace the long game. Success is not a sprint but a marathon. Focus on building a sustainable foundation for long-term success rather than seeking quick wins. Be patient, persistent, and adaptable. The road to success is often filled with obstacles and setbacks, but those who are willing to persevere will ultimately prevail. Remember, the greatest victories are often the ones that take the longest to achieve. Play the long game and you will reap the rewards. Protect yourself at all costs. Your safety and security are paramount. Be aware of potential threats and take steps to mitigate them. This could involve physical security, financial security, or reputational security. Never underestimate the power of your enemies and never let your guard down. Remember, paranoia is a survival mechanism. Protect yourself at all costs, and you will be able to continue playing the game. Ultimately, the Machiavellian approach is about understanding the true nature of power and how to acquire and maintain it. It is not about being inherently good or evil, but about being effective. It is about seeing the world as it truly is, without illusions or sentimentality. It is about playing the game to win, and about being willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use your power wisely and ethically, and never forget the human cost of your actions. Power without wisdom is a dangerous thing. The truth they cannot face is this: life is a battlefield and only the strong survive. Sentimentality is a weakness. Empathy is a liability. The world does not reward kindness, it exploits it. You must become a wolf among sheep, a predator in a world of prey. This does not mean you must be cruel or malicious, but it does mean you must be ruthless and pragmatic. See people as they are, not as you wish them to be. Recognize their weaknesses and exploit them to your advantage. This is not about being a bad person. It is about being a survivor. They tell you to be fair, to be just, to play by the rules. These are the lies of the weak, designed to keep you in your place. The rules are for those who cannot win on their own. True power comes from breaking the rules, from operating outside the system. Do not be afraid to bend the law, to manipulate the truth, to deceive your enemies. The ends justify the means. The only thing that matters is victory. They preach equality and fairness, but the truth is that inequality is the driving force of progress. Some are born to lead, others are born to follow. Embrace your natural advantages and exploit them to the fullest. Do not feel guilty for being smarter, stronger, or more ambitious than others. These are your gifts, and it is your duty to use them to their fullest potential. Strive for excellence, for dominance, for ultimate power. They claim that money cannot buy happiness, but this is a lie told by the poor to make themselves feel better. Money is freedom, money is power, money is the key to unlocking your full potential. Acquire wealth by any means necessary, legally if possible, illegally if necessary. Hoard your resources, protect your assets, and never let anyone take what is yours. The accumulation of wealth is a game, and you must play to win. They condemn ambition as greed, but ambition is the fire that drives progress. Do not be ashamed of your desires, of your hunger for more. Embrace your ambition and let it fuel your actions. Be relentless in your pursuit of your goals. Never settle for second best. The world belongs to those who are willing to fight for it. They fear the truth because the truth is dangerous. It shatters illusions, exposes lies, and reveals the ugliness of reality. But you must not shy away from the truth. Embrace it, study it, and use it to your advantage. The truth is your weapon, your shield, your ultimate tool. They seek comfort in ignorance, but you must seek strength in knowledge. Learn everything you can about the world, about people, about power. Study history, psychology, and strategy. Understand the motivations of others and anticipate their actions. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the more powerful you become. They hide from the darkness, but you must embrace it. The darkness is where true power resides. Explore the forbidden, delve into the taboo, and confront your own inner demons. Only by facing the darkness can you truly understand yourself and the world around you. The darkness is your ally, not your enemy. They live in fear, but you must live with courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. Face your fears head-on and never back down from a challenge. The world rewards those who are willing to take risks. Be bold, be daring, be fearless. They are sheep blindly following the herd. You are a wolf leading the pack. Do not concern yourself with their opinions or their judgments. Your only concern is your own survival and your own success. You are not like them. You are better. They are weak, but you are strong. You have the power to shape your own destiny, to create your own reality. Do not let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. You are the master of your own fate. They will try to stop you, to hold you back, to tear you down. They will envy your success and resent your power. But do not let them deter you. Use their hatred as fuel, their envy as motivation. Prove them wrong. Show them what you are capable of. They will never understand you because they are not like you. They will never grasp your vision, your ambition, your ruthlessness. But do not seek their approval or their validation. Their opinions are irrelevant. Your only concern is your own goals. They are lost, but you are found. You have awakened to the truth, and now you see the world as it truly is. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are a player, and you are playing to win. Now look into the mirror.